Alright, hello everyone. I see we have, I believe, 8 or 9 viewers at the moment. Can you guys hear me well? Let me know in the chat, because sometimes the audio gets a bit problematic. Hello. Can you guys hear me, or can you guys not hear me? Because if you can't hear me, that would explain. Alright, it seems I can be heard. Meaning that today we're first going to start with some Elder Scrolls Blades. Now that we have the game on the Nintendo Switch, I can actually play it with a somewhat competent frame rate. Switch port isn't too great, unfortunately. But yeah, we're gonna have to make do with what we got, because my phone is sort of the electronic equivalent of a potato, meaning my blades can't run too well on my Switch, on my phone, I mean. So we're gonna do it on the Switch. That said, after that we're gonna play Oblivion. We're just going to continue with the Oblivion playthrough that we've basically been doing in the past. Oh god, this is pretty loud sound. I don't believe you can hear it, but I can at least. I think the game audio should be at a good level now. Let me know. Anyway, so yeah, we're first gonna play some Elder Scrolls Blades, because I've always wanted to play this game on stream for some reason. I don't know. I seem to be the only person on the entire planet who actually likes this game for some reason. So yeah, let's play some of this first, and then we'll continue with the Oblivion playthrough. Because even though I like this game, I know Oblivion is like 1,000 times better. This is my character. His name is Sepphoris Mead. I don't know why I picked that name. I mean, Mead is in the Emperor. We're actually... My goal is to get to level 39 on stream, and after that we'll play some Oblivion again, because that's what we were doing in the last few streams. This is my little town. It's called Elisrath. I did this on like the first day that the game was available. Yeah, this is advertisements. Get used to that if you if you want to play this game. Anyway, this is my little town. I got basically everything already. I need to do some minor upgrading. This here is like a statue of the old king. You get it during the main quest. I have to say it's pretty cool. Like, one of the things I like about Blade is that, just like, for example, Dark Souls, you got these little lore... I'm pointing at my screen, that's no use because I don't have a camera. But you have these little lore bits with every item. So this game... Wait, let me show you. If you go to my album on my Switch, there's some Skyrim screenshots, no matter what that is. But I made a whole bunch of screenshots of... Yeah, this is basically all my research. I made a whole bunch of screenshots of all the items, like with sort of relevant lore. Like, for example, here, this ring has something to do with Marmor King Orgnum. I don't know, that's pretty interesting. Alan Watts, I'm playing it on Switch at the moment. That's the only device that I have that can somewhat competently play this. This port is just bad, although not all the lag that you're seeing in the stream is coming from the fact that the Switch can't handle this game, because I'm actually streaming this to my PC, and then from my PC I'm streaming this to here, so yeah, it's not ideal. Here's my statue of Mara, another little statue of God here. So yeah, this is my little town. We know the canon name of the town now. It's called Rivercrest, but that came in like another update. And actually I played this game before the update, when there was no canonical name for the town yet. So yeah, that's annoying, because I always like to remain with canon as far as I can. Anyway, let me show you. We're going to do one mission in this game, and then we're going to do Oblivion. But let me show you some of my annoyances. Do you see this here? They just copy-pasted the fucking Skyrim logo on this flag, and it annoys me to death. Because this wing is broken, which is not something... Like, it made sense for the Skyrim logo, but... I don't get why they did it here. And it's pretty annoying. Anyway. Let's start with the questions, lore questions that you guys might have, so put them in the chat. I'll answer them to the best of my capabilities, as always. How's your day? Asked Mr. Foster. Pretty good. It's one of the first days I'm actually able to do something for the channel again. Like, I've been working my ass off for a video earlier this day and earlier this week, because I've been having exam season over the past few weeks, so it's been very stressful, but now we're good again. We're not going to do this quest because it's a bit too hard. This is a quest where you go and sort of search for a criminal called the River Snake. I have no idea who he is yet. I quite enjoyed the quest line so far as I played it. Oh yeah, this is a level with secrets. Very nice. Isn't it strange that the game isn't on PC, PS4, Xbox One yet? Well, Switch is the only platform that they announced it for, so they probably like felt a bit like they had to release it on here. But I think that they saw the backlash and that they just don't really want to release this on those platforms anymore. That's my personal guess. Like, could be completely wrong. And here's a chest. Very nice. We need Elven Maze of Irritation. Yeah, I'm pretty annoyed. Let's see. We're gonna complete this level and then play Oblivion. I'm already sorry that I'm even playing this game. Fuck this shit, man. When I stream this to my computer, the reaction time of these controls, you can't see it, but the reaction time of these controls is actually pretty bad. Like, I knew that was going to happen, but yeah, that's stream lag that you see. That's not lag. Like, the Switch doesn't lag in combat, like, at all. They optimize that pretty well, but that's just because I'm too poor for a capture card and thus I'm streaming this to my PC. Let's see the comments. I always ask stupid questions. Well, there's no stupid questions, and the only two stupid questions that there are, I put in the description in a frequently asked questions tab. I'm actually ahead of you, Mr. Vladimir. Or Vladimir. Let's see. How long are we streaming? I think like an hour and a half, something like that. Usually that's my stream, the length that I'm streaming. After the video, I'll put a video up. Usnis the Immortal, yeah, asked, when did you get into Elder Scrolls? I got into Elder Scrolls, like, technically with Morrowind, because I played Morrowind at a friend's house, but I only had a device capable of actually playing Elder Scrolls games by the time of Oblivion and Skyrim. So I'd always like to say Morrowind because I saw a friend play it when I was young, and I always found it very interesting looking. Hey, there's a secret. Very nice. But yeah, technically it's like the Oblivion Skyrim era. Let's see. Are you ever gonna make a video showing your Skyrim mods? Well, no, but I'm going to do something Skyrim mod related soon. Wink, wink, wink. That's very secret. I thought they announced VR for this game. Yeah, they said that they're gonna bring. They said that they're gonna bring this game to basically every platform, but I'm not having it anymore. Like, it took so long. If you didn't see it, my question was, do the blades during the Oblivion crisis share any blood with the Akavir invaders? Ask Daniel J. That's a pretty interesting question, and it's something that I've wondered myself. I personally think no. Like, maybe there's some who still have Akaviri blood in them, but it's been very long since the founding of the Dragon Guard. So I would say that if there's still Akaviri blood in there, it's likely that it's so far away that it doesn't really affect them anymore, but hey, who knows? We don't know exactly how blood works. What's your favorite piece of lore out of Blades? Well, I don't like to spoil my own videos, but I made a video, or at least I'm making a video, on the new Arena questline in Blades, and that questline, for as flawed as Blades is, and for as flawed as Blades quests are, that questline has some very interesting stuff in it, and I really like that one, but you're gonna have to wait for that video. Mr. Zach. Daniel McArdle asks, what's the end goal of the Daedra trying to take over Nirn, e.g. Maroons, Dagon, and Molech Bal? Well, that's one of the things where we're not taking the sources that I know into account. We're not completely sure why they even want to take over Nirn. But what I've always assumed, and what, for as far as the sources that I know basically say, is that they want to take over Nirn, because it's sort of in their nature. Think, for example, about Maroon's Dagon, the Prince of Destruction, or no, Chaos, I mean. And think about Molech Bal, Prince of Domination. It's literally in their nature to want to dominate and to want to destroy. Like, Dagon didn't want to take over Nirn, he simply wanted to destroy it, or envelop it in chaos. So, that's kind of where the dynamic comes from, I believe. Zetan Xiao says, what's your opinion on the theory that the Fallout universe is a plane of Oblivion? I don't know, I'm not really a believer. I don't know, I always like to keep these things separate. Nigel Rain Castanar says, is this game worth playing? Depends. If you're going into this with the idea, yeah, I want another Skyrim, no, definitely not then. Because this is very simple and very... Like, they toned down on a lot of the microtransactions and a lot of the grind, because you still have to grind a lot, but it's a lot less than there was before. But if you're just going in there with, like, I want a quick distraction on my phone or my Switch in the Elder Scrolls universe, I mean, can't go too wrong. Like, I had at least the motivation to sort of complete my town, even though that was basically because I needed to in order to access quests, which I need for videos, so, yeah. Excuse me, Imperial Knowledge. I was wondering when you have the time, if you could watch a new video of mine that shows a new glitch that I found. It shows how to change your face as a vampire in Skyrim, no mods. Huh, interesting. If you send it to me on Discord, I'll watch it. Probably. Oh, Useness. Okay. Yeah, sorry, Mr. Useness. I'm not very good at pronunciation. Arian Krasnik. Sorry for my pronunciation, I'm really sorry. Ask, what's your opinion on Okato? Do you think he was a good leader? I mean, from what we know, like, that's one of those things. It's like very subjective because we only have Imperial records. Although we also have this one record of a Imperial sympathizer in Summerset Isles, of course. Which was basically like, he was a pretty good leader. He was even elected by the Elder Council, like, to just be the potentate until they found a new emperor. Like, they had confidence in his leadership, and he held the empire together for as long as he could before he was assassinated by, presumably by the Thalmor. We don't know exactly. So, I want Asians in Elder Scrolls, says Wolfie. It's a serious question. Then I'd say probably the humans of Akavir, if they ever existed. But I don't know if it is. I know a lot of Xbox and console players who would like this glitch. Yeah, sure, I mean, send it. What did this guy just say? God. Oh boy, I don't think I ever saw that dialogue. I'm just gonna search it back when I upload the screen. Is there anything special about dragons such as the Serpentine and Revered Dragon? Is the Serpentine dragon associated with Himerius Mora? I've never... Callum Torrens. I've never seen an adequate... Oh god, this might... Yeah, this is what I meant with bad connection. God. Yeah, I've never really seen an adequate explanation as to why the Serpentine dragons are something else than the normal dragons. Like, I've never seen an explanation for it. Maybe there is, but at least I haven't seen it. And I've wondered that myself as well. My question, not lore related, but do you prefer Oblivion's writing to Skyrim's? Yeah, I think Oblivion's writing is definitely better than Skyrim's, but Skyrim's gameplay. Nicola Jurgen says, do you think Bethesda did the right thing by announcing Elder Scrolls 6 so early? I mean, yes and no. Like, the moment they said that it's in pre-development, I knew this shit's gonna take at least 8 years to get here. But I think that with the overhyping nature of the internet, it wasn't a good decision. But if everybody thought like me, it probably would be a good decision. Like, I've seen so many people say, like, yeah, Starfield would be 2019 and then Elder Scrolls would be 2021 or 2020. Like, that's not gonna happen. What? He specifically said, like, we're working towards the game after Starfield, and Starfield is still in, like, not even final development, so... I don't know. I think the way they announced it was good, but at the same time, they also know how the internet works, and listening well to words is not what the internet does. Do you think Talos counts as a god? I mean, he counted as a god for a long time. You think? Let's see. Is Shoggoth really insane, or is he the smartest prince and just humor everyone to pretending to be insane? That's a hard question, and we have him here. Yeah, I have one. Are you insane? Like, I have no idea. It's one of those things where I don't think we really have an answer or can know an answer. And if we can, I at least don't know it. Haji says, people who think Fallout and Elder Scrolls in the same universe don't deserve human... That's a bit far, don't you think? Elder Scrolls Blades is so boring, the game is so linear. Yeah, but that's one of those things where what I basically said, like, if you go into this expecting another great Elder Scrolls game, don't go into it. But if you just want a fun distraction in the Elder Scrolls universe, like which you can just start up every once in a while, then go for it. Do you know if the game is available in China? I have no idea, Hongquan Laoe. Sorry if I pronounced it wrongly. Oh, I don't think so. I haven't heard that it is available, but who knows? Search it in your app store, I think. Is it normal to lose faith in Bethesda? Yeah, I lost faith in Bethesda a lot. Anyway, we did one Blades dungeon. That's basically what I wanted to do. Let's do one more job and then go and play some Oblivion, because I actually want to do that for... I prefer that to this. Are you worried about Elder Scrolls 6? Not really. I don't really have any preferences for Elder Scrolls 6. I just... Like, I want it to be good, but other than that, I don't care in which way. Like, I think that Elder Scrolls Blades, in its own way, is a pretty fun distraction. Like, it has its moments and can be good. Oh god, my armor is broken. Yeah, we're gonna play Oblivion right after I smash this goblin's face in. Yeah, we're gonna play Oblivion. Goodbye! Actually, not gonna close my Switch down, but we're gonna do something else. Let's see, I'm gonna start Oblivion real quick. Let's see what the other comments are saying right now. Hopefully Starfield comes out this year or next year, with Elder Scrolls 6 coming in 2030. I believe that Starfield was supposed to come out this year. At least that's one of those leaks that said it. But then the virus just delayed it. That's the way I always... that's the way I understood it. Let's see, live. Yeah, we're back in Oblivion. Something people actually want to see. Very nice. Does anyone know here if this game is available in China? I mean, you can check, I'd guess. Are you worried Elder Scrolls 6 could use a game as a service model? No, they'll not go that far. Like, I think that they got their backlash with Fallout 76 and that they won't try to do another game like a service, but who knows? What video that you made are you proud of? I think the... Hello. Alright, we were in Quatch. That's very nice. I think that the video that I'm most proud of is probably the one on the Great War Remastered. Oh wait, that's not the way we were gonna go. Let's see. Was Mankar Cameron Dragonborn? He could be. Like, I'm not necessarily ruling the option out, if I'm being honest, but I never really knew what to think of that theory. Let's see. Since the Dragonborn is half dragon and half human, does marrying him or... No, that's not really how it works. He has the dragon blood, but he's not half dragon. I think that this sound is a bit too loud. Wait, what did I do? Why did I drop my sword? Why am I such a fucking idiot? My sword broke, of course. Can't change weapons while attacking, alright. Going to repair our shit, sir. I keep forgetting how magic works with mouse and keyboard. I literally only played this game. Right, C. Cast. Let's see. When is Blades set? Elder Scrolls Blades is set 5 years after the Great War. Do you think you get a job? Any chance you could get a job on Elder Scrolls 6? No, absolutely not. I mean, I live in the Netherlands, and even if I didn't live in the Netherlands and I lived in the US, I mean, I criticize Bethesda far too much. I mean, Elder Scrolls 6 should be a great game, or it will probably be Bethesda's downfall. I'm not sure. Like, Starfield's gonna give an indication of what Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be, so I wouldn't like to speculate on Elder Scrolls 6 all too much until we have seen Starfield and seen what it does. Where the fuck were we going? I've played this game... Like, I've played Oblivion so much that I never really play it anymore, like, for fun. It's a bit the same with Skyrim now, where I can't really play it a lot for fun anymore because it's basically become my job, which is pretty stupid if I ask myself. Where the fuck am I going? Like, for real. Wait, I still need to be inside the chapel? Right, I needed to talk to this lad. Or at least I needed to follow him. 13 Scarlet says, can you say hi Jesper Maspogi si Ali? I don't know, I don't speak that language. It sounds like... I don't know, I think it sounds Nordic, but I'm not even sure. It is said Red Mountain is the biggest volcano in Tamriel, which implies that there are smaller volcanoes, but none in Skyrim, Cyrodiil or High Rock. Where are the other volcanoes located? Well, that's very fun that you ask, because I actually made a video... I don't remember which one, but people got angry at me that I said that Red Mountain seemed to be the only volcano. Because apparently in the Elder Scrolls Online there is another volcano in mainland Morrowind. Apparently, but I don't know. Do you believe the timeline of ESO is lore accurate or lore friendly? I'm pretty sure that Elder Scrolls Online will be the thing that Bethesda will base Elder Scrolls 6 on. So, yeah, I think it... Like, even if you'd say that it's not made by Bethesda, Bethesda has endorsed it and will base their next games on it. So, they will make it canon at some point. Unless you want to claim that at some point Elder Scrolls 6 isn't canon, at which point, what is even the point anymore? Like, if you say something like that. Let's see. Any idea of what happened to the former city of Such? I have no idea. It's one of those things where I don't really think there is an adequate explanation. Hello, sir. Will you please come with me now? I mean, I'll come with you if you want. Let's see. I'd like to know too. What do you want to know? Imagine the Elder Scrolls 6 play if Imperial played the Emperor. Well, I don't think anyone would want that. Like, I think that would be a pretty bad idea if I were to lead a country ever. Let's see. Are the Corsairs still in Wayrest? And if so, how does the Empire feel about the situation? That's one of those things where we don't exactly know what it is. I personally suspect no, even though I said in a video before that I did. But I don't think so, because I don't remember exactly why, but I remember thinking that saying that in a video was a mistake. But we don't know the exact situation in Wayrest at the moment, so it might as well, the Corsairs might still be in Wayrest for all that we know, but I personally don't think so. I used to think so, but then later I retracted my own thoughts. I even remember when I thought about it, like I was sitting... I don't know why, I was sitting with some friends and my mind wandered to a video that I was going to make and I was like, wait, I said something about Wayrest and I was like, oh no, that's probably not cool. Let's rescue the Count, who I know is dead. Let's see, let's start a petition to make you a character in Elder Scrolls 6, please. No. Oh god. I don't, like, my channel is pretty average, like, maybe, like, someone, oh god. I don't know, I'm really opposed to the whole idea of social media influencers to be in video games. Like, me, my girlfriend, and her brother, we sometimes play Fortnite. I know, I'm disgusting, but that's the only free multiplayer game that we all three of us can play with the devices that we have. And there's like this ninja skin, and I'm like, oh, who is gonna spend money on this? And I'm just... I don't think that anyone on social media should be in a video game. Unless you're, of course, a voice actor or a professional or something like that. I've never understood the spellcasting in Elder Scrolls universe. How are spells cast, spoken, or feel? The way I always interpreted it is that basically you have magicka, which is sort of your aptitude of interacting with the energy around you or inside you. And you convert that energy into a spell. Like... You make a movement with your fingers or something like that, and you direct the energy within yourself or within the air. We don't know exactly how it is. Like, it's energy that comes from Ethereus, of course. And then that becomes yeah, either destruction magic or illusion magic. I'm so bad at this game with mouse and keyboard. Jesus Christ. Let's see. Nazim for Emperor. Hey Imperial Knowledge, where should I post my video on your Discord? Lore discussion or no? Just send it to me directly. I should be in the... If you just go to announcements or something like that, I should be the only one who's posting in that channel. Just send it to me in like a personal message. Like a DM. I'll respond probably after the stream and after I launch my video. Let's see. There's a number of volcanoes in Craglorn as well as the one in Bay of Topol. Never heard of the one in Bay of Topol, but I do know about Craglorn now that you mention it. Only Elder Scrolls YouTuber would make sense in Elder Scrolls 6 Gobbler. It will be hilarious. I don't know who that is, but I'm definitely gonna Google it now. Will you do a face reveal when you get... I already did a face reveal like multiple times. I just don't make a big deal about it because I'm like, you're not here for my face. You're here for my lore. It's not even my lore. I did a face reveal. I guess the first real face reveal was in the cooking video that I did for 25,000 subscribers. But I revealed my face before. You just didn't know it because at one point I did a video on democracy in Tamriel, and I made this sort of panoramic scene of all sorts of parliaments, and I had the honor to like be in my provincial parliament and address them at one point, and I pasted myself in there as well. Like, I've been in my own videos multiple times, but I don't know, I just don't see the reason to make it a big deal. I mean, you're here for my lore, not for my face. I'm not a fucking Fortnite streamer. Hello. I'm gonna take your ring. And I'm gonna take your clothes as well. Oops. I always liked that Oblivion has paintings. Like, the paintings don't look very good, but I'm glad that they're there. Like, Skyrim doesn't have any paintings, and I'm bothered as hell by it, because they were one of my favorite things in Oblivion. Epic Nate is the only YouTuber who makes sense. He'll tell you what the top 5 provinces are. Maybe I should do that as well. How are spells thought? Do the tomes magically disappear once read? Well, I mean, the whole idea of... spell tomes disappearing in Skyrim and in other games is like, the whole reason that they disappear is because they're consumable. Like, they needed to have a consumable item which they could have disappear after you learned the quest or the spell. But I think in real life or in real lore, they wouldn't disappear. You just read them, and there in the spell tome it would say how to cast a spell. And because it says what you need to do in the spell tome, you can basically replicate that in the same way that you could, for example, have a book tell you how you should swing a sword or do an acrobatic movement or something like that. Where can we find the face reveal? Well, it's the cooking video. It's probably the one that I'm featured in most prominently. In a couple of days, there will be an anniversary video in which I'm also in as well. It's like filmed in front of my desk. I don't really know why anyone would make a big deal about it. Let's see. Do you know if Beyond Skyrim will release for every province in Tamriel? I believe they have several provinces. They have teams for several provinces. I don't think that any of the major provinces will release, from what I've heard from people on the team. Like, this is all working with volunteer people, so it's gonna take a long time. But on the other hand, Elder Scrolls 6 won't release for another 4 years, so who knows what they'll be able to do. Seems that, at least from what I get, some of the projects are actually pretty close to completion, but those are like the smaller island projects. Let's see. I would like to hear hear about you addressing your parliament. Well, it was like our provincial parliament. It was for something back in... I don't really know what it was for anymore, but I needed to present some sort of plan. But yeah, I was like, yeah, I'll edit that in. But I was pretty proud of the picture. You see my face really big on a sort of screen. I don't know why anyone would want to see that though. Let's see. You should do a Fortnite lore video for April 1st, 2021. Is there even Fortnite lore? I believe there is. Like, you have those seasons they do or something like that. Yeah, here's the ring. Alright, I got his arm. Martin. Right, we're going with Martin to the chapel now. And then the Amulet of Kings is stolen. Oh no. That'll definitely come as a surprise to me. Let's equip the Kvatch Cures. Right, I looked like I was sick before the virus. What Elder Scrolls YouTuber do you watch? Do you know Zarek Zakron? I appeared on a podcast with Zarek once, and I had some DM contact with him, but I don't know. I don't really watch other Elder Scrolls YouTubers anymore. Like it's in. I do watch them, but when I'm like in the Elder Scrolls playing mood, like a lot of the Elder Scrolls playing that I do is for lore studies because I'm always very interested in lore and discovering it myself. But I have like periods in which I play a whole lot of Elder Scrolls, and in those periods I usually put like videos of other Elder Scrolls YouTubers on my second screen. Usually I'll watch like Lady of Scrolls, Biggie 15. He made a whole lot of shit because he's always uploading. So whenever I'm in a new Elder Scrolls period, I'll put his videos on my other screen and just binge them. I don't like watching my own videos. Let's be honest, we'll all be greybeards at the time Beyond Skyrim will be out. Maybe. The only provinces that aren't planned for are Summerset and Valenwood. Yeah, but then I heard someone say that they had plans for Eleanor, so I don't know. Or maybe that was like a whole other mod. What do you think about the Industrial Revolution? Well, Industrial Revolution is the whole reason that I'm sitting behind my PC playing Elder Scrolls now. So, I suppose it was pretty good. At least for me. Probably not for the planet, but... I mean, yay. Where the fuck is Martin? Did my game glitch? Find the air. Right, we need to go to the camp, I think then. Alright. What do races other than the Nords go after that? Says Marco. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce the name, I'm very sorry. We know that the Red Guards go to Far Shores, which is like the sort of Red Guard version of Sovngarde. You actually go there in Elder Scrolls Online, I believe in the Daggerfall Confident questline. Looks a bit like Sovngarde, like the sky and stuff looks really like Sovngarde, but then it's like tropical. So, makes sense. Far Shores it's called. The others I don't know from the top of my head. I feel like revealed Elder Scrolls 6 so that people stop asking questions. Yeah, I think that is. Somebody sent me a link to his video with his face. Useness, you can literally just Google, like, I believe it was some Elder Scrolls dishes or something like that. Or you can just scroll through my videos. I think it's not that long ago. Like, we're almost at 30,000 subscribers at the moment, but that video was made at 25, so it's not too long ago. Not longer than half a year ago, at least. On the topic of parliaments, who is the Elder Council made up of? That's something that we also don't really know. We know that it's basically the most influential people within the Empire. So I would imagine, for example, the High King of Skyrim we know is on there. The King of Morrowind back in the day was on there. We know that some kings from High Rock were on there. But there's also a lot of powerful Cyrodiilic people in it. There's not only nobles, but also very powerful merchants. We don't know the exact composition. It's one of those things where I wanted to do a video on it. I started researching it, and then I realized there wasn't really enough lore on the topic to really warrant making a video, because while I'm not opposed to short lore videos, as you know by now, I don't like lore videos shorter than 3 minutes, because 3 minutes is like, that's nothing. Let's see, Bankrite to be exact. Yeah, thanks, Zach. When did you learn English? Probably like at age 9, when I started playing Pokemon and Pokemon wasn't available in Dutch. Hello, Sean Bean. Come with me.
Oblivion Gate, they say. Yes, I'll come.
Alright, we're going to Waynen Priory. I do want to walk, but I don't want to walk all the way, so I'm going here, and then we'll walk to Coral. My English is worse than I thought. Beyond Skyrim cancelled Eleanor and Valenwood. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really follow a lot of it. What do you think about Sea Elves? / do you think they have a chance at probably invading the Summerset Isles? I think they're at least still active. Like we have... Wait, let me show you if I can switch. I can. This is the magic of streaming, people. Let's see. We had Elder Scrolls Blades in here. Oh god, this is double sound. Character. Misk. And then, oh no, wait. Actually, equipment. This Elder Scrolls Blades takes place in the 4th era, by the way. Just for your information. And then we have this ring, which in the 4th era mentions not this one. This ring in 4th era that mentions that could have been of Marmor origin. And the ocean can be heard from its stone. So at least Bethesda hasn't forgotten about them. And we know that like they're still sort of relevant then in the 4th era if the ring was truly made by a Marmor. So I think that they have that they're still alive. Whether they will invade the Summerset Isles again, that's completely up in the air. Like completely I don't know. Let's see. Kieran Devine asks, do we know where Orsinium currently is? Yeah, we do know. It's between Skyrim and Hammerfell at the moment. So in basically in the western reach, somewhere between Markarth and Elenir. At least that's what I've read. Do you know if anyone on the Elder Council is in the Vampirum Order? It's possible, but it's one of those things where we don't know what the current Elder Council is. We don't even know what the full previous Elder Council is. Have you played Elder Scrolls Legends? Yes, I did. And I also played it a lot on stream back in the day. What do you think are the origins of the Dwemer? Are they descended from the Aldmer? Yeah. At least that's what I believe. There are people who have other theories, but I think it's pretty... To me, it's pretty obvious that they stem from the Aldmer, but... I also didn't put a lot of research into it. Like, I saw some other theories, but I'm not really biting in them, because it makes a lot more sense for them to be descended from the Aldmer. Well, at least that's my interpretation of things. I mean, you're allowed to disagree. About to take the aptitude test. Divines give me strength. Good luck, Haji. Publius Draco says, the Sea Elf showing up and stabbing the Thalmor in the back would be the most awesome plot twist and fit into the World War II parallels. I'm careful with the whole World War II parallels, but I would agree that it could be an awesome awesome thing. Have you heard of the Sea Giants coming to Elder Scrolls Online in the next chapter? I have no idea. I hadn't heard that they were going to do that, Mr. Zack. It's one of those things where, at least for like Greymore, I did this video, the primer on Greymore, but that was with the help of someone else, because my Elder Scrolls Online won't even load, and the public test server just, whenever I try to access it, it just... Someone just subscribed, very nice. That's just YouTube subscriptions. I don't get money, I found out. I've heard of the Sea Giants coming to Elder Scrolls Online next chapter. No. Like, again, I haven't even been able to play Elder Scrolls Online. I did pre-order the Elder Scrolls Online Collector's Edition for Greymore, though, even though it was very expensive. But for some reason, they're releasing Greymore on the day of my channel's anniversary. And with the Collector's Edition comes real coins, currency from all over Tamriel. And that's something I've been bitching about since day one on the channel, so I feel like they did this for me and I owe it to them to buy it. Would you buy a Dragonborn skin if it was added to Fortnite? I don't know. I'm not too much of a Fortnite player. Like, as I said, it's the only game that I can play for free multiplayer with my girlfriend and her brother. But other than that, I don't really play. Like, the only thing in Fortnite that I have that is bought is not even bought by me. It was bought by my girlfriend's brother who gifted it to me. It's like the emote where you go rickroll someone. So whenever I shoot someone, yeah, I'm one of those people. It's gonna go like never gonna give you. Yeah, but you get the idea. Do you believe in Michael Kirkbride when he said that the Dwemer? No. Generally, I don't really like out of game sources. I wanna be able to do my research in the game. And if something's not published by Bethesda, it ain't canon to me. But you can disagree. Like, I'll gladly be proven wrong. I mean, some of the stuff that he wrote is very interesting. So if they add it into the games, you know, more power. I wouldn't even mind. Some of the stuff that he wrote is pretty interesting, but I'm keeping to the games because that's more fun for me to research. Have you heard of the High Elves? I should put that in the frequently asked questions tab in the description. Did you know that Dwemer aren't actually extinct but are time jumped? That's a theory, and we don't know if that's true. Why are the Dwemer called dwarves? The prevailing theory on that one is that back in the day, when the Dwemer first came to Skyrim, they came into contact with the giants, who basically thought that they were dwarves because they were so small. That's the theory. Do you think the vampire that turned Werther is possibly still alive? I mean, vampires are immortal, so could be. What villain would you like for Elder Scrolls 6? Hello, I almost hit. I always like that this freeze, like it's always, I don't know, it's very fun. See, what do you think would be a good villain for the Elder Scrolls 6? I would like the main villain to be the Thalmor, but on the other hand, that could be boring. So I don't really know. I like to be surprised, so let it be something that we can't easily predict, like not another Daedric Prince trying to take over Tamriel or something like that. Let's see. The Dwemer are time jumped to the 9th era. Yeah, that's a theory. Again, we don't have that confirmed in any of the games or any published material. Which means that published material and official material can still contradict it. In which case, I would be screwed. So I'm not focusing on out-of-game material. Because I just tend to do my research in the games. And that's basically the whole reason why I find my channel so fun. Is because I can research within the universe itself. Besides Magnus, do we know of any other Magna Gi that are named? I don't. Are you getting Cyberpunk 2077? Yeah, I will. On my Xbox, I think. Because my PC is trash. I would prefer the PC version though. But my PC is trash and can't handle something like that. Paradise awaits you, very cool. We are playing on very easy, it seems. Then I'm even more embarrassed that we got... that I almost got killed earlier. Are you an alcoholic? No. I mainly drink water, like, in every... it would be awesome if the main villain was the Emperor. Could be a pretty cool plot twist. Like, what if you were just fighting on the side? I don't think they will make the Emperor or the Empress, depending who succeeded Titus meet. Shh. God's blood. That came out of... Very cool. I don't think that they will do that, because they will always give us the choice with whom to side. But then in the other hand, we didn't get the chance to side with the Thalmor, so who knows? I mean, I think it could be pretty interesting if the Empire was the main villain. But I think with the whole setup with the Stormcloaks and the Empire, I don't think they will go for a scenario in which the Empire is the exclusive villain, if you get what I mean. Because people like identify with the Empire, and like they're not obviously evil, as in even if you're a diehard Stormcloak, you have to agree that they would be morally grey, and they wouldn't be like morally dark grey like the Thalmor, for example. Because even the Thalmor have their reasons, of course. You're getting a Series X, not at the moment. I have an Xbox One X, I got it from a friend of mine, and they're supporting that for the coming 2 years, I heard, so I'm probably gonna get it on that. What's your opinion on the Elder Scrolls Unfulfilled Promise by Indigo Gaming? I haven't seen it. It's been in my to watch ever since it launched, but it's such a long video that I really, every time I look at it, every time I get it recommended, I'm always like, yeah, I should watch that. And then I put it in my to watch, and then I just forget about it. I should probably do it after this stream. I don't know where Joffrey is, man. Actually, I do, but... Derry Dragon is asking a question. I don't know why YouTube algorithm has it blocked all the time. But he asks, if I kill a Daedric Prince, like killing Maroon's Dagon, what will happen? Will nothing happen, or will I absorb his power? Depends where you kill him. If you kill him on Tamriel, no. If you kill him in Oblivion, that could be. But at least if you kill him in Tamriel, you're basically just killing an aspect of the Daedric Prince and not the Daedric Prince themselves. Any word if the Creation Club is still going to release more content, or is it Bethesda slowly pulling back from it? I think that right now it's not their main focus, but perhaps they will release more shit to Skyrim. Maybe even like... Cool. I think that they will release some more stuff for it, at least for Skyrim in the future, to keep us like warm on the Elder Scrolls front until Elder Scrolls 6. But then again, they might also be like, you know, we have Elder Scrolls Online and Elder Scrolls Blades, even though nobody wants Blades, except me. So I don't know, I think that they might not. When do you think the Kalpa will end? Is it weird how the Elder Scrolls races have the same technology for thousands of years? I made a video on the technology part. I recommend watching that. I see some comments which I don't get to see soon. I see them on my OBS, but not on my YouTube, which is weird. Oh, now they're appearing on YouTube. It's mostly gameplay reasons. Yeah, I don't know. I want to watch that video, the promise unfulfilled. Let's see. Kalpa will end. I have no idea. It's one of those things where it's not my expertise in the lore by far. Even in Oblivion, killing a Daedric Prince temporarily disincorporates them. Yeah, but you can. There's more. If you do it in the right way, and I don't know what the right way would be. I know that they are vulnerable in Oblivion. Meanwhile, they're not really vulnerable in Tamriel. That's basically what I know. If you and Todd Howard had a boxing match, what do you think who would win? Probably Todd Howard, because he's like an older man. Well, but probably not actually. Because I would be faster. I don't know. Maybe I'd just throw money at him and he'd be so distracted that I could just overpower him. And take Elder Scrolls 6. Good idea. Problem is I live on the other side of the world, so that's not gonna happen. Sorry Todd if you see this. Not gonna... Although if he does want a boxing match, I'd gladly do it. I mean, publicity. Elder Scrolls 6 action should have consequences. Yeah. I think that too. Problem is, I don't really think Bethesda is going for that kind of depth. Or who knows. Derry Dragon says, you got Doom Eternal? Not yet. I'm planning to play it when it releases on the Switch. And I know that completely invalidates me as a normal person. But I want to see how it performs. Like Doom 2016 on the Switch. I don't know how they did it, but it was amazing. Like, even after the update, it was so good, like, you have no idea. And I want to see how they want to do Doom Eternal on the Switch. Like, it's one of those things. If the port is as good as Doom 2016, I want to play it on the Switch. And I'm just fascinated by how they get it to work on such a small system. Do you think Elder Scrolls 6 DLC is Stros Mackay is possible? Definitely, a Stros Mackay DLC would be possible. But I think that if it's Hammerfell, I think Stros Mackay would already be in the game. And we might get like an Auradon DLC or something like that. Because while Stros Mackay is cool, it's one of those places which is maybe a bit too small. Well, no. I know, I'm thinking, but I think Stros Mackay is one of those things which would be in a Hammerfell game regardless and wouldn't be locked behind the DLC. But then again, it is Bethesda. Is it true that all Daedric princes get stronger in their own realm? Yeah, that basically, yeah, it's their own realm and they completely control every aspect of the realm. Meanwhile, if they're in Tamriel or if they're in another realm, it's basically an aspect of them. So, the rule of thumb is that they're always stronger in their own realms. Oh no, I didn't know that. Would you like naval combat for Elder Scrolls 6 if it's set in Hammerfell? Maybe. Like, if it's executed well, naval combat's very welcome for me. But seeing Bethesda's engine and the fact that they're planning to use the Skyrim and Morrowind, essentially Morrowind's engine for Elder Scrolls 6, I don't really see it happen, but hey, who knows? It would be awesome if you have ship combat. Yeah, I mean, it would be cool if it's executed well. Like, we could have the Iliac Bay in the Abyssinian Sea with all sorts of islands, and then you can just use your own boat to sort of navigate between the islands and have it all be one big open world. Would be awesome. But I'm having nightmares for seeing Bethesda actually execute that. Actually, I'm already having nightmares of that. Let's see, do you believe in the Godhead theory? I think it has some merit. But I don't know whether to believe in it or not. Something that I did find interesting is that someone once... I asked someone once to explain the Godhead theory to me very simply. It was a couple of years ago. And he basically told me, go and play Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I don't know if you guys have played it, but that basically is the whole Godhead concept where you're in a sort of deity's dream. So yeah, that's pretty interesting, especially since the Link's Awakening remake came out earlier this year. At least last year, I mean. Do you believe in Wind Waker style? I don't know, Wind Waker I think is a bit too simplistic. I'd like it more like Assassin's Creed Black Flag/Rogue style.
So it is not all gone against us. And tell us for that.
Is it Martin behind me? Or is he just... Where will Martin be safe? We're going to Cloud Ruler Temple. I like Cloud Ruler Temple. Cloud Ruler Temple is cool.
I won't rest easy until Martin is safe at Cloud Ruler Temple.
Can Alduin end Oblivion? What is the exact premise of your question? What do you mean to ask, David Drukum? Wait, we're going to Cloud Ruler Temple, right? Let's see. Yeah. Wait. I hate mouse and keyboard controls for Oblivion. Let's go here and then we can walk some bit, but... Oh no, let's walk all of it. I want to see more of Oblivion's day in nature and have more of an excuse not to listen to dialogue. What do you think of Elder Scrolls Online? This is as Mystic. I kind of like it. It can be fun. Especially if you got friends to do it with. Like, I do, but sometimes. How do I say this? Elder Scrolls Online just keeps crashing on me, and that really leaves us a bad taste in my mouth. Like, every time it updates, it does this sort of Russian roulette where... Either I can play it, or it just black screens on starting. So, I have a sort of trauma of Elder Scrolls Online and even getting it to start for me. But other than that, when I am able to play it, it's pretty fun. Do you think that by the time of Elder Scrolls 6 the Blades will be an established organization? I don't know. I honestly don't know what they'll do with it. I always had the idea that the Blades, as we refound them in Skyrim, are just sort of this... Hello, sir. I want to see this happen. That they are like super secretive. Like the Thalmor can't find out about us being active. But then again, Elenwood is at the whole thing. But yeah, I honestly don't know. Daniel J. Dragon breaks and the Godhead are some of the most amazing things I've heard in any lore of any universe, and some of the biggest reasons why I love the Elder Scrolls. Yeah, I don't know. I've never really... The weird thing is that I've never really been all too interested in those parts. Like, they're cool to read about, but they're not really my interest, which is... I always found it a bit weird, because that's some of those things which really define the Elder Scrolls universe, and it's one of the points in the Elder Scrolls lore that I'm sort of least interested in. Like, I want to be interested in it, but my mind, or at least my subconscious is just like, no, for the love of God, don't read this. I don't know why. I really don't know why. Although... When I hear Aramithius, which is another, which he has his own podcast, Written in Uncertainty, you should definitely look it up. When I hear him talk about it, it's actually pretty interesting. Like, I find it interesting, but then I'm not interested in it, if that makes sense. What would happen if Morrowind's story, the villain succeeded, and Oblivion in Skyrim? Pretty interesting question. It would definitely have been different, but how different we don't know. If you mean with succeed as in just took over sort of all of Tamriel, very, very different. I don't exactly know. Can't do this from the top of my head, I'm sorry. Since Alduin is the World Eater, I'm assuming he has the power to end all Daedric realms. Can he end or destroy Oblivion? I have no idea, but that's actually a pretty interesting question. I would say no, but that's not based on anything that I've ever studied, so don't take my no for granted. I base my no more on like sort of placing my own thoughts in Bethesda's thoughts and just be like, they'd never do that, but maybe in theory within their established universe it could be possible, but then at least I don't know the theoretical basis for that. What do you think, who would win in a fight, Hero of Kvatch or Ebony Warrior? Probably Hero of Kvatch, since he became Sheer Gorath at the end of the final DLC. Like, Daedric Prince versus Ebony Warrior. And if you just mean the player variant, well, I honestly don't know. I think they would be played pretty evenly matched, since the Ebony Warrior sort of represents the Elder Scrolls player at the end of their playthrough. Do you think Dark Brotherhood will be destroyed or active in the Elder Scrolls 6? Would be interesting if it was destroyed and see what sort of other organization there would be instead of the Dark Brotherhood. But since they're sort of Bethesda's darlings, I don't really think that they're going to be permanently gone. Just my hunch. How would you feel the cities in Elder Scrolls 6 like Darfall and Wayrest? I'm assuming were more impressive than the Imperial city in Oblivion. I would be okay with that. Like, the Imperial city is bound to the technology at the time, like 2004 to 2006 when it was in development. Like, in lore, yeah, Imperial city is far more impressive than it is in the in Oblivion. Yeah, I'm still going the right way, right? Yeah. In lore, it's far more impressive. Like, if you read the Infernal City novels, it's huge, and it's far better than the city that we get to see in Oblivion. So I would be all for more impressive cities. I mean, in a way, you could say that their Elder Scrolls Online representations are already more impressive, in a way. I mean, it's more like a technical thing, of course, but still. I think that, let's see, do you think Elder Scrolls 6 will have the coronavirus as its main villain? Would be interesting, though, if it was like the Slode or something like that, who did another Thracian plague. That could actually be interesting. Like, it could be a cool DLC story where, like, the Slode return and they try to do another plague and you have to stop them. And then have to go to Thras, where you have to, like, swim between the corals. I don't know, I think that would be a bit too much swimming. Like, 7 out of 10, too much water. Hi, gamers. Hello, gamer. What do you think about Lorcan? In what sense? I think that Lorcan, in all ways, is an interesting figure, or at least god, to think about. I like his, I like the whole speculation on whether or not he sort of betrayed the others or not, because that varies per creation myth. I actually was talking about that with my girlfriend earlier. We don't talk about Elder Scrolls lore a lot, but she studies Egyptology and like ancient civilizations, and we were talking like about like the similarities between some of the what's it called? Some of the creation myths in Elder Scrolls and real life, which was pretty interesting. She even offered to like, if she ever got the chance to study the Elder Scrolls creation myths a bit more, she offered to like do a script for me where she compared them to like real life ancient creation myths, which would be a very interesting thing. Like, I told her about the whole towers theory, about the towers sort of holding a mundus, at least what I knew of it, and she said that there was something comparable in a real life religion, like this ancient religion. And I think that making a video about that could be real interesting, but when talking about like history and ancient religion, on that kind of ancient, I don't really know what I'm talking about if I do it myself. So I'd rather do it if she helps me with it, since she's far more knowledgeable on the topic, since it's actually her major. Let's see, is there a possibility of an Akavirian invasion? That possibility is basically always there. As far as I understand. Maybe, yeah, especially now, since it's been a long time since the last Akavirian invasion. Maximilian Gale asks, lore-wise, how stable is the Dominion? We have no exact idea. I would guess that since the Great War, they would be less stable than before, because a lot of people see the Great War as a victory for the Dominion. But in a way, is that really true? Because we know that they gambled a lot of their resources on the Great War, and that they basically sort of counted on the fact that they could use Imperial lands to sort of what's it called in English? Restore themselves. But then the Empire basically just defeated them at the last battle, and even though they have a peace, we know that the Dominion, there's reasonable grounds to speculate that the Dominion did pay war repairs to the Empire. So, even though the Empire might have seen the whole White Gold Concordat as a humiliation, imagine how bad of a humiliation the fact that they didn't all out win the Great War was for the Thalmor back home, which is why they are so intent on revenge, and which why they are branding the Great War as the first war against the Empire, because probably they have to justify against their own population that there will be a second war and that they will win at that time. Because I think that they make a lot of propaganda like, yeah, we're gonna defeat the Empire so easily, and then they didn't. So if there's anything to say about their stability, which we really can't because we don't know a lot about their government, I would say that the stability of their government would definitely be less after the Great War than before, because even though we see from the Empire's perspective, we see the Great War's humiliation and we think like, yeah, the Thalmor won, oh no, they kicked our asses. The Thalmor are also pretty embarrassed by the fact probably that they didn't all out win it, even though they claimed superiority to the Empire to their own population, and then just suddenly got wrecked at Red Ring. So if you can say anything about the stability of the Dominion, it would probably be less stable after the Great War than before. But I can't really say too much about it at this point. But I do really like talking about Elder Scrolls politics. What location would you want to visit that hasn't been shown in any Elder Scrolls game? The Imperial Palace. Because we only get to see like the Imperial Palace to the White Gold Tower up until the levels where the Battle Mage resides, like all the public areas, between quotes, of the White Gold Tower, but we never get to see the Imperial quarters, and I really would like to see that. I don't know why, I just really want to see it. It could be interesting if Elder Scrolls 6 had the Dwemer come back. Agraviri, slow invasion, slowed invasion, all this stuff happening at the same time. Could be interesting, but at the same time also a bit overkill. Like, I'd rather have Bethesda focus on one cool story than have like several sort of half-done stories. Great War was a Pyrrhic victory for the Dominion. Yeah, in a way. Like, I don't even know if the elves, like the citizens of the Dominion, would see the Great War as a victory. I don't even think that the Thalmor will see it as a victory. They'll brand it as a victory. But will they see the Great War as a victory? I honestly would like to know that, because from as far as we know, they've always been claiming to their own population, we're so much superior and we can handle the Empire easily. And in the first stages of the Great War, I mean, they kicked the Empire's ass, and they probably said to their own population, like, yeah, the Empire's weak and we rule them. And then suddenly, all of their armies, because they betted all their resources, literally all their resources that they had, all their reserves that they had, they betted that on conquering Cyrodiil. And they did that, and then suddenly they get completely destroyed at Red Ring. So I really wonder how that whole dynamic is domestically right now. How they framed the Great War, because we know that they framed the Oblivion crisis in their own favor. I'm really wondering, like, what the hell is this? Let's wait here and then loot the Imperial Guard armor of whoever loses this battle. Let's see, what are some more questions? How come Akavir seems to be stronger than Tamriel? Because Akavir seems to be like relatively united. At least the forces that, like, when Akavir invades, the country or like the race that invade, like the Saci or something like that, they are at a strong point at that point in their life or in their tenure. While when they invade Tamriel, it's always at a moment that Tamriel is like either completely, what's it called? Completely fractured. Or when Tamriel is just not in a very good shape altogether. So, I don't know, if both are like on the top of their strengths, I don't know who would win. Probably still Akavir because it's Bethesda, but I don't know. Are you gonna shoot? Dude! Oh wait, that's not a guard. It's a bandit. I thought it was a guard. Like, why do you attack me? I didn't do anything to you. Is there any radical revolutionary, Republican, or kind of socialist books or figures in the Elder Scrolls? Ooh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I'd say that in a way you could say Mankar Cameron because he like founded the Mythic Dawn, but again that's a Daedra worshipping cult and not necessarily like a political cult. Perhaps like the founder of the Thalmor, who was like racially radical, as in who would make like a... Because the Thalmor are, as far as we know from in-game and in-universe stuff, they are purely political, not necessarily like... Oh god, I'm walking completely wrong. What's your least favorite race, either to play or lore around them? To play, probably Argonians. Lore around them, that's a hard one, because I really like all the race lore. Like, I find Argonians extremely interesting. Oh god, that was my Ring Fit Adventure alarm, which I'm not even playing anymore. Let's see. Who would win between the three main protagonists of Morrowind, Oblivion, or Skyrim? I have no idea. Because it's basically depending on what you do with your protagonist. Like, if you're like my Jumpy McFloat man here, then you're probably not gonna win anything, because I don't even think we're going to be able to complete the main quest on stream. Or maybe. But if you're like my Skyrim character on my Switch, oh boy, you completed basically everything. Who came first, dragons or elves? Dragons, because dragons are essentially Elnofane. Because they're immortal and forever, like they're everlasting and immortal, and they came directly from Akatosh. So we know that they are probably, like, if there's any Elnofay left, it's probably the dragons. So the dragons definitely came earlier, while the elves are, at least from the most conventional theories, came from, are like a far evolution of the old Elnofay inhabitants. Lord Narvin is still alive. He will destroy the world. Would be interesting. Do you think House Redrun will hold control from Morrowind for long? At least for the moment. House Redrun definitely seems to have the edge in Morrowind. I mean, House Lalu is just done for. Like, they're completely destroyed. House Dress and House Cedros in the south, they're just devastated by the Argonian invasion. And it seems that, like, at least they were devastated by the Argonian... Hello, Martin. They were devastated by the Argonian invasion, and back then House Redrun basically took control, and for the past 100 years or so, they just... I can't really see them having let it go. Yes, are we going to open this door, or are we just gonna... Oh boy. Gabriel Fernandez asks, imagine Uriel V returning from Akavir. I don't really see that happen. A lot of people are like, yeah, that would be cool, but on the other hand, I think that could be a bit too... How do I... Like, too much of a spectacle. Well, I don't really like my quest to be spectacle, but then again, who am I? The Bethesda might still do it. How old is Abnatharn canonically? 100 years or older, you ask? I don't know. I think that could be a good estimation, but I know too little about Abnatharn to really make an educated guess on this one. The Thalmor could win the Second Great War, asks Bruno Luz. It could be. I always thought that a good plot for a next Elder Scrolls could be what if the Thalmor just completely wrecked the Empire and Hammerfell's ass during the next war, and we're basically going to have to lead sort of a human rebellion against the elves in the style of Saint Alessia. I always thought that as a cool idea. I don't know why. Nobody else seems to find it a cool idea. But, it's a pretty cool speech, but it's here now, but I'm talking. Let's listen to that in a minute. I mean, I always found that a cool idea, but, I don't know. It seems that if you use words like bastard, the Google automated comment system will filter you out, so I will read your comment now. Okay, so we're not gonna do that. Yeah, I know that was the original story for Skyrim, Nigel Rain, but yeah, Useness has a muted comment by Google. Should it be lore that the Empire wins the Second Great War? If they do, then what will happen to the White Gold Concordat? And if they don't... I don't know. We know too little about those kind of things to really say anything. But I think that if the Empire wins the Second Great War, it would have a sort of white gold concordat, but then for the Dominion, and they would probably have to like revoke their control over elsewhere or something like that. But well, I honestly don't know. Hello. Yeah, I didn't listen. Sorry. Yeah, again, I didn't listen. I'm sorry, Martin. Yeah, skipping. We need to get the amulet back. He will be Emperor. For the Emperor! Let's go to Boris, who is in the city.
You have proven yourself as the Grand Master.
Yes, I will join the Blades. I just realized that in basically every game since Morrowind we've been part of the Blades, except for I guess Legends and Elder Scrolls Online. Yeah, let's go to Boris. Alright, let's go. We're going to Boris. Let's see, what time is it? Oh wait, we're already streaming over an hour. So we're going to the Imperial City, and then after that I'm going to upload this week's lore video. That would be cool. Why do the elves not mention the dragons? Actually, why do any races mention dragons since the dragons came first? Didn't dragons rule over all of Tamriel? Yeah, but dragons vanished into obscurity. Basically, nobody even knew that they were still around or that they could even return. There were legends of dragons, but only very, very, very old dragons. Like, dragons basically perished a long time ago. I don't know if you remember the Skyrim trailer. It's one of the best trailers that I've ever seen, like, no joke. Where Esbern begins like, you should have acted. They're already here. And then he's like, but no one wanted to believe they even existed. And that was true, like nobody believed that the dragons exist. It's one of those things where you see that in the intro for Skyrim, where for us it's sort of logical that dragons exist, but let's see, imagine that in our real world, suddenly a fucking dinosaur returns, like a dragon, a dinosaur just walks down in Amsterdam or something, and it was so long ago that we know that they were once here, but we wouldn't be able to fathom the fact that they're going to come back, so they're not really fresh in anyone's memory, and nobody really knew what they did back then, as far as I know. Does the Dominion have a king or an emperor? No, it's ruled by a council. That's literally the only thing we know about their leadership. Like, we know that it's a council, and other than that. Well, imagine if Dominion went to High Hrothgar and saw the shrine for Tyre Septim. I mean, technically, Elenwen has been in High Hrothgar. She was there for the negotiations. I don't really think that she really cares about the Greybeards. Like, it's more about like the whole banishment of Talos thing. I mean, it has further, like, of course it has a primary goal. But one of the goals at this moment, at least it seems, is the fact that they just want to humiliate the Empire and want to have access to their lands if need be. I don't really like. Even if you walk up to Eleanor with like a Talos amulet, she won't even give a shit. The blades in Skyrim are poo-poo, yeah, I know. Alduin was really going to be defeated by the Dragonborn, or is he going to return? Likely that he will return, at least those are the prevailing theories at the moment. My chair is so uncomfortable at the moment, I don't know why. Alright, let's see. Does the Legion have a general that isn't an Imperial? Yeah, we had, during the Great War, we had General Jonna, who was an Imperial, who was a Nord. And we know that during, I believe there was, during the Elder Scrolls Online, I believe I met like an Imperial commander at least who wasn't, yeah, I don't know if that was a general. I mean, we also have like at Fastendil, like at, what was his name? The one that you'll get in Winterhold after the, after you conquer that for the Imperials. I believe he's like a dark elf, but there was a Nord in the Battle of Red Ring. Yeah, I basically said that. Elder Scrolls 6 story predictions. Option to kick Thalmor ass. Probably, hopefully, boats. hopefully also you're not the hero, but you're helping the hero, like in Oblivion. I mean, the whole reason that Oblivion is my favorite story is because you're helping the hero Martin Septim instead of that you are the hero. And then again, there's also a lot of people who don't like that idea, so each to their own. It's purely a me thing. What else do I want for Elder Scrolls 6? Yeah, a good story. I don't really care what the story is, as long as it's good and it has the same kind of depth as Morrowind and Oblivion had. Because Skyrim's story, what I like a lot about Skyrim, I mean, Skyrim is definitely the weakest in terms of story and development. I think I can say that without making anyone angry. But yeah, at least that's my opinion. I know I have this friend who I play a lot of Rome Total War with, and then we talk a lot about like Elder Scrolls story, and he and I basically think the same thing. Where Skyrim's story is just so not deep. Like the individuals, like there's definitely potential in several of the quest lines, but compare only like the Skyrim Dark Brotherhood questline with the Oblivion Dark Brotherhood questline. The Skyrim Dark Brotherhood questline where you kill the Emperor is definitely cooler in concept, but I think that the execution of Oblivion is just far better. I don't really think I make anyone angry with that. If so, please yell at me in the comments. You are allowed to do that. Let's see. The theory was he was going to return to the end of the Kalpa. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really into that sort of theories, as most of you guys know. Is it true that the Dwemer in the 9th era? Some people think so. There's no evidence for it in the games. So I'm not wasting my time on that kind of theories, if I'm being honest. Because I can't research them in the games. And that's what I enjoy most about Elder Scrolls. Or at least not in officially published material. What if in Elder Scrolls 6 both the Empire and the Dominion fell due to prolonged war? That would be very interesting, where just both exhaust themselves. I love Total War games, so do I. There's an Elder Scrolls Total War. Skyrim's story is very vanilla, yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't know who said it and what exactly he said, but it was like Skyrim is a lot like Morrowind Light. Like it uses a lot of the ideas that Morrowind uses. He had some good points. I don't really remember what the points were, which is a fault on my side. But they tried to sort of do Morrowind again, except at the same time bigger and at the same time smaller. What do you think who do you think will win the Second Great War? Really completely up in the air. A lot of people think that the Empire is a lot weaker than the Dominion, but I think that's not necessarily. It's hard to say. What happens to the child of Queen Berenzia and Morrowind and of Tiber Septim? I don't remember. I remember reading about it, but I don't know if that was a theory or established lore. You think that Ulfric Stormcloak is a murderer? I mean, he's definitely a killer. And whether you think the whole thing with Torek was a murder, that's really subjective. Like, I did a video on it, whether it was ethical. I personally don't think it is. Like, he used the Thum, immediately making it like you brought a gun to a knife fight. But then again, some people are like, yeah, but that's ancient Nordic tradition, which is also a good point. So, completely subjective. Skyrim is like Fallout 4, which is like Fallout New Vegas light. I don't know, I'm one of the few people who likes Fallout 4 and 3 better than New Vegas. I really like New Vegas for its story and its characters. But I think that Fallout 4 and 3 have a better atmosphere. Like, they have the real post-apocalypse atmosphere. Well, I've always seen the desert walking thing isn't too interesting to me. Like, in terms of environment, in terms of story, New Vegas definitely has the edge. So, I would say yeah, but I'm one of those people who is like, I really play Fallout for the atmosphere. But if I play it for story, I definitely go for New Vegas. New Vegas is a lot more developed in terms of story. Hello. I heard someone's voice. Where are you? Show yourself. First we're going to deal with a wolf. Look at me jump. Well, that worked out, didn't it? Now he's dead. You should rest and meditate. Yeah, I will in a second. Look at that beautiful sky and that beautiful Imperial pillar over there. Like, wait, I'll illustrate what I meant earlier in the stream. Like, in lore, the Imperial City is far bigger. Like, there's whole not shanty towns, but like whole outskirts of the city outside the walls. Like, there's a couple of buildings. Hello there. Oh, it was you that I heard. Alright. Like, there's outskirts outside of the city, and the whole area within the city is far bigger. I mean, we see this in Elder Scrolls Online, where the Imperial City's interior is already a lot bigger than here. But in lore, it's even bigger than in Elder Scrolls Online, and there's like this whole outskirts here on the island. Several sort of... I promised that I would look for this image that I saw online of it, but I didn't. And I'm... yeah. Who's your favorite Daedric Prince? Maroon's Dagon. But that's purely a nostalgia thing for Oblivion. What's the tower in the Iliac Bay? I think it's called the Durrani Tower, and will it be... It's the Adamantine Tower, also called the Durrani Tower because the Durrani used it. And it will definitely be in Elder Scrolls 6 if it's set in a High Rock or if it's set in Iliac Bay. You said earlier that the dragons will return... No, I meant something else. Like, when I said that the dragons will return... I said that people didn't believe that the dragons would return in Skyrim. What I meant by that is, the dragons had been gone for such a long time that people... Like, the dragons were never on people's minds. A bit like the dinosaurs for us. Like, we know that they were once here, but they were such a far-off concept that people didn't really think about it all that much. And that they wouldn't really believe that they even existed, because... Unlike with us, there's not mass museums or an internet where you can search for pictures of dinosaur skeletons. While most people just knew the dragon from the Imperial flag and from legends that Tiber Septim had one, but nobody really, like Esbern said during the trailer, no one wanted to. Those kind of thing. What do you think would have happened if the Dominion never had the Daedric artifact during the Great War? They definitely have a harder time winning. But perhaps the Dominion would have won the Great War then, because they relied on the Orb of Vermina for their warfare. But if they had invaded without relying on that, the Empire couldn't have taken the artifact away. And if they couldn't have taken the artifact away, and Dominion was still as strong as it is now, as it was... I don't think the Empire could have won, at least in the state where it was earlier, but maybe in the current state where they're far better prepared for an invasion, perhaps they can win. We don't know. Are there any monotheistic religions in Elder Scrolls? Basically any Daedra worshipping cult, which only worships one Daedric prince, or at least some of them. What do you think would have happened if the Dominion... oh yeah, I already answered that one. If next Elder Scrolls in Hammerfell, we'll probably also have the next Orsinium, which is in Cracklorn. Yeah, I said that before, like it's between Elenir and Markarth somewhere. Hello, Mr. Wolf. What are your opinions on Avarti? Pretty chill dude. I called with him a few times. We don't really have a lot of contact anymore, but I guess that happens over time. But yeah, chill dude. Do a diss track on Fudge Muppet. Yo, I'm Imperial Knowledge, the original lore master. My lore's so great, it'll make your girl come faster. I'm not afraid for Fudge Muppet and I don't have any rhyme words. Please exit this and never, ever, ever talk about it again. Talk about Tiber Septim's dragon. I did. I have a video on him. Nephala Largus. Does anyone want to buy some adrenochrome? What? What? Desperate adrenochrome dealer? This joke is going whoosh right over my head. Do you think that Kinnereth asks Akatosh so they can bless men with the voice? I don't know. I don't really think that... the question from Dairy Dragons, I don't really think I can answer that. Stop talking. Somebody just subscribed, very nice. Would you rather have Elder Scrolls 6 only set in High Rock but with a superior and deep complex main story, or all of Iliac Bay, including the... yeah, what is that even for kind of question, Mr. Mango or Miss Mango? I'm definitely going for with the super deep story, because that's the kind of thing I enjoy Elder Scrolls for the deep lore. Will you do a video on giants? Did I never do that? I remember talking about giants before. I never did a video on giants? Huh. Maybe should. For something you came up with on the spot that was actually half decent. Well, I'm gonna have to admit here, I did a game with Lady of Scrolls once, and I basically at one point we were like, I don't know what we were talking about, but I basically just sort of wrote this miniature diss track, and this was this was one of the lines. That's the only lines that I memorized. Opinion on the Witcher games, the books and the Squire Tale. Interesting. I always really liked The Witcher 3, and I'm currently reading the Witcher books, because what else are you going to do in quarantine? And I think the Squire Tale are very interesting. We're talking here about Elder Scrolls lore, so I'm not going to waste too much time on this question. But I haven't really... Like, I'm currently at the second book of the trilogy, Time of Contempt. Just after the whole shit on Taneth, where they're also involved. So I don't really know everything about them yet, so I'm not really gonna give a really good explanation on it. But I definitely find them interesting. If Orsinium is in Elder Scrolls 6, would we see goblins and giants in the city? Maybe. I don't know. What's your opinion on the Elder Scrolls novels? They're pretty fun. I can definitely recommend anyone to read them. Like, soon there's going to be a video where I'm going to go over all the physical Elder Scrolls books ever released, because I actually own like 80% of them. Like, I only don't own like 2 or 3 of them. And after my anniversary video, me and my cameraman also filmed me just showing off the books I'm talking about, every book and their how to like some buying advice, that kind of thing, the average eBay prices. And I actually really recommend the Elder Scrolls books. Like, if you don't tell anyone that I told you this, you can actually get them for free online. Both listening book, like audiobook, and PDF. Fallout Vegas is pretty hard. It's definitely a bit harder than the others, yeah, but I think it's pretty fun. Why didn't the dragons wage war against the gods, since they are clearly against them? How exactly are the dragons against the gods? If so, that's news to me. Did you play Elder Scrolls Daggerfall? I did, not too much. I really struggled with the... Oh wait, this is not something I'm allowed to do. Sorry, Mr. Guard. I didn't play Daggerfall a lot because I couldn't really get a hold of the controls. I'm just too much of a casual. I'm actually planning to play Daggerfall Unity to death, probably the moment that has a finished release. What will happen if the Empire wins the Second Great War? Perhaps restore Talos worship? Yeah, definitely. Or at least they would allow it again. I don't know if they would institutionalize it again, because we know that in Cyrodiil it's not really that much of a problem. Like, the whole Talos worship ban is really only a problem in Skyrim. At least that's what Alvor says in Riverwood. The giants talk were normal, like the humans, and they came to Tamriel before everyone else. It's true that the dragons were earlier. Does Tamriel have any potential for industrialization? Maybe, but I don't really see it happen, since the whole shtick with the Elder Scrolls series is, of course, that it's all medieval-like. So I don't really think that they will ever do that. Do you think there's a chance we'll get Wolfheart-type king in Skyrim who will go on the crusade and bring back the Nordic pantheon? I mean, it's possible, but they did Skyrim to death. So I don't think we'll ever see that. It's possible that it'll happen ever in lore, but not in a game. Unless they're really gonna do Skyrim 2, in which case I think I'm ready to die. Is there any info on the current status of Kvatch? Oh boy, I believe that there was once a mention of Kvatch in Skyrim lore. But I don't remember where. Or at least in modern lore. I'm trying to think where it is. Or it was Elder Scrolls Legends, maybe. Because in Elder Scrolls Legends there's this one map of Tamriel during the Great War, with like all these pieces of the Dominion and the Empire on it. Sort of the strategy pieces. And I believe Kvatch was on there, so we know that it's still there in the 4th era. Hi, hello Ataro, I remember you from last stream. Late to the stream, I want to ask you about your favorite race. Haha! There is actually a frequently asked questions now in the comments, or in the description. But you always say Imperials, but there aren't really a race, Colovian or Nemesis. You actually beat my frequently asked questions. I personally think the Nebenese. Colovians are a bit more like the Nords, and I really like the whole. I don't know. I like the mercantile parts of it as well, and which is more Nebenese than Colovian, if anything else. It's worth to play Elder Scrolls Online. It's definitely worth it if you enjoy MMOs and if it works on your PC, but it doesn't work on my PC, so. Yeah. Would you recommend playing Elder Scrolls Legends? Yeah. It's basically... It didn't make them enough money, so they basically discontinued new updates, but it has some of the best Elder Scrolls artwork in any game, which all looks really interesting. Like, one of my favorite things to do is just go through Elder Scrolls Legends artwork, since a lot of it is really good. So I can definitely recommend it. Like, if you like Hearthstone, you're gonna like Legends. Syrian the Gamer has a question, but I don't know what the question is, so I can't answer it. The hero of Quatch is a Daedra now, technically, yeah. Hashtag bring back Colovians. Have they ever really been gone? At least in Elder Scrolls Online they mentioned Colovians a lot, like Colovians and Nibonese, they mention it a lot, so the concept definitely aren't gone. In your last video you talked about the population in Tamriel. Did you consider population in Elder Scrolls Daggerfall? I don't remember where I talked about that in my last video. But I did do a video on the population of Tamriel where I took Daggerfall into account. So yeah. Are you Dutch? Yes I am. Of ja, dat ben ik. Ook goed. Kinnereth blessed men with the voice to fight against the dragons, and Akatosh blessed the Dragonborn to kill all of the dragons. So why haven't the dragons waged war against the gods? Like that. Yeah, I don't know. If anything, I'd say that the dragons maybe don't really think in the terms of that the gods, like that it's the gods' fault. I don't know. I'm not. You actually dumbfounded me with a question. I have no idea what to say. It's a good question, and I think that there's an answer to it, but I don't have that answer. Do you think that they should put Legends in as a bonus mode for Elder Scrolls 6? Could be pretty interesting, a bit like how Gwent is there for the Witcher 3. How far in future do you think the Elder Scrolls 6 will be? I don't really think that it will place in the 5th era. I'm actually, like, I'm 999 promille sure that they won't put it in the 5th era. And that it will be in the 4th era in a relatively short period since Skyrim. I could be wrong. But I don't think I am. That's the whole reason, that's the whole shtick with an opinion. Do you like Soul Calibur? I've yet to play it. Opinion on the Riften question. Yeah, I haven't seen a Riften question yet. Martin Septim is like Jesus, he died for us. I don't really like real-life religious comparisons because people always get angry. Is Tamriel really medieval? Like, we have cannons, realistic portraits. I mean, God, I should really disable that whole bling for the subscriptions. And I'm actually gonna do it now. I think. Disabled. Because I'm... Oh god. I think it's still on the Blades window. Give me 1 second. Because the sound is getting pretty annoying. Let's see. Alright, we're back in Oblivion. I don't really know what I was saying anymore. Oh, right. The whole thing with... you can't really call it medieval, because it's of course not our world and it's not our historical timeline. So our historical periods don't really apply to the Elder Scrolls universe because it's fantasy. But the whole thing with this sort of fantasy is that it is medieval-like. Like, the whole thing is with swords and heavy armor. I think that basically all the fantasy universes combine things from several different real-life historical periods. So, you know what I mean. Have you considered about making a video about geography and how big/large Tamriel is? Yeah, I already did that. It's been a bit long, so I understand it if you think that video is a bit outdated or something like that, because my voice recording wasn't as good yet, but I already did it. Do Breton/Red Guards destroy every Orsinian because truly united Orc nation would be unstoppable? Could be a reason, but I personally think that the Orcish population of Tamriel is too small to really do that. I personally think that they just destroy it out of sort of biases and out of sort of trade disputes or something like that. Because usually Orsinium is in like this... It's not in a very good... I don't know. Have we ever gotten a motivation behind it? Because I'm speculating on what I would think the motivation is, but there might actually be like real lore on it. Let's just chill in the water for a bit. If you could live on in Tamriel, where would you live? City and job. Imperial city. Probably cleric. I don't know, man. I'm not really in for the whole dying thing, so I probably wouldn't be an adventurer. I'm pretty sure Rimmen is an independent city-state. It has been in the past, but we don't have any evidence of it in the current thing. I just realized that the person who asked me where on Tamriel would I live is called Stormcloak Knowledge. I love that.
I'm sorry to trouble you, but I was
Go away. What's up? Just got here. Well, you're late. No offense, but I think I'm going to stop in a bit because I want to launch the video. What's up, Imperial? Do you think Morrowind has a chance to come back to a world power after the Red Year? Definitely. I mean, it has a chance, but it seems that, like, if you only have one province under your banner, you're not going to be able to compete with countries with 2 or 3 provinces like the Eldmeri Dominion and the Empire. Because you simply have less manpower to work with. Like, even Hammerfell, if Hammerfell took over, like, High Rock or something like that, could be a world power. I just don't really think that it's going to happen anytime soon. Anyone else having issues with Blades on Switch staying logged in? I don't have any issues with it. But I have heard that people have issues with it, Philip Dawn. I don't really know how to solve your problem. Ellie needs sleep. How many taxes could you fit in Tamriel? I don't know. Probably 3,000. I don't know. Did they destroy Orsinium because they've seen Lord of the... Oh boy. I love your lore videos and your sister channel. Sister channel? Wait, did you find my secret channel? Don't tell anyone. Please don't tell anyone. I want it to be completely separate from Imperial Knowledge and I want it to grow on its own. I don't know if you were the guy that found it. Like, I've got like 3 comments on that channel. Like, oh my god, your Imperial Knowledge. I didn't know, but... Is it possible for the member of the Imperial Council to start a war and play both sides during the war? Could be possible, but we know that the Emperor basically has most of the power centralized. So I don't really think that there's a big chance for that to happen, Syrian the Gamer. Is the Tomb the most powerful magic in the Elder Scrolls universe? It has potential to be, because I heard that it's like tonal magic, where it can sort of influence reality in a way. But there's other types of magic that can do that too, so I would say it depends on the wielder, but I think there's definitely more powerful magics. I think the Elder Scrolls will become science fantasy like Star Wars in a few games. That would be cool. I don't know. I think that's more like the Fallout path and not necessarily Elder Scrolls. I don't know. You could be right. I mean, who knows what will happen after Elder Scrolls 6 when that happens in like 2030. Imperial Knowledge, does the Rennie hegemony still exist in the islands of Balfira? Could be. I actually don't know. I want to answer your question, but I can't. I never played Blades. Yeah, that's probably wise. That's why I make videos, so you don't have to play it. Yeah, Bethesda were no help. I can't play the game, but I have to log in every time. It's annoying. Do you have the same problem on mobile? Like, I'm not tech support, so don't see this stream as a sort of tech support stream. But I'm genuinely wondering, because I had the problem with Blades, where they would refuse me to let me log in on any mobile device for some time. And then only after I bitched about it in a video, Bethesda suddenly fixed it. I don't know. The game... I mean, it isn't a Bethesda game. It isn't bugged as shit. Wait, what is this other channel? Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you. And I'm forbidding Mr. Andrew Mills to talk about it because it's not supposed to be common knowledge on here. In the Ninth Era, there's spaceships and like again, there's no in-game or published evidence for the Ninth Era. It's all out of official material. So I don't enjoy researching non-official material because it's not officially part of the universe. So I wouldn't know. Like it could have merit the theory, but I just I want to make this channel enjoyable for myself, and I just don't really like researching non-official material. I'm sorry. Like I'm fully okay with other people doing it, but it's just not my thing. Are you on fandom? Yeah, I have an account on the fandom wikis because I wanted to post in a forum once, but I don't really use the wiki a whole lot because a lot of wiki articles are not very complete. What's your favorite build from each game you've played? I just like the vanilla sword shield combo. I don't know, it's the most immersive thing for me. Although I do enjoy my mages playthroughs every once in a while. I don't understand why this guy is here. This is one of my pet peeves with Oblivion, where he was a traitor. Emperor Uriel III. He was Potema's son. He started the civil war and lost it. Why do we have a statue of him here? We don't know. Very interesting though. Is the Imperial City actually as small as it is in Oblivion, or bigger, way bigger in lore? I talked about it 2 times now on this stream. And I have to say, it's in lore, if you read the Elder Scrolls novels, it's actually way bigger. I never liked Elder Scrolls Blades, and I think Bethesda didn't like it either. Yeah, I don't think they liked it either. You're right. But I find it enjoyable once in a while. On Twitter, the way I described it on Twitter to someone was like, I compared it to a Big Mac, where I'm like, it's not great. It's probably not good for me or for the planet, but I enjoy it from time to time. I don't know. I don't know how I got with that explanation, but it somehow really fitted. Favorite Elder Scrolls book? Ask Stormcloak Knowledge. Probably the Great War or the Disaster in Ionith. Imagine there was a tomb that can wipe out half the world population. The Infinity Tomb, of course. We actually had talking about Avengers, because I know this is an Avenger reference. We actually, after I watched Infinity or something like that, Infinity thing, Avengers, Infinity, I don't know. Oh, I'm embarrassing myself, doesn't matter. Anyway, me and the friends that watched it had an idea to do a stream where we basically did a sort of Avengers podcast where I complained about all the plot holes that they left. Back then, we would call it Talking Thanos with Imperial knowledge and the dweeps, and we liked the idea, but we just never did it for some reason. You think that third Oblivion Crisis could happen? If Bethesda wants it, it could definitely happen, but the whole idea is that those kind of scale Oblivion Crisis is no longer possible. But if Bethesda wants it, they can probably find like an excuse for it to happen. Opinion of the Lego Ninjago TV series. Well, I'm personally more of like a Lego Spider-Man person. I said like the one franchise that doesn't have a Lego series. I'm so fucking dumb. Lego Star Wars. I failed at my own joke. They have Uriel Septim III statue for there for people to spit on. Yeah, that could be. Blades is okay. It's a decent time waster. Yeah, exactly. It's a decent time waster, but that's about it. I've never played Oblivion. How much different is gameplay in Magic compared to Skyrim? Magic is very different. Gameplay is still you swing your sword and you hit the bad guy kind of thing. It's not. Combat never was Elder Scrolls' strong suit, but I think that if you like Skyrim, you can get used to Oblivion. I think Morrowind's far harder, and I think that anyone who's played Skyrim but hasn't played Oblivion will get used to Oblivion if you try to play it, and it's definitely worth it. At least that's what I think. I like how Elder Scrolls orcs aren't evil like most of the other orcs in fantasy. Yeah, that's something I like as well. Oblivion, where can we buy the game in China? I have no idea. I've never been to China, so I wouldn't know. During the Umbriel crisis, when Hiram negotiated with the Cyrodiil to allow Umbriel to be summoned, what did the Cyrodiil get out of it aside from killing the foreigners and the assimilated? Well, that's the whole point. They didn't get anything out of it except for killing all of those in Black Marsh who didn't belong there according to them, because the Cyrodiil, the way I always interpreted it is that the Cyrodiil, they kind of want to get rid of anyone who isn't like a pure blood. I don't want to hear this. Who isn't like a pure blood Argonian who was born in Argonia or Black Marsh, and that they'd rather have Umbriel do it. I think that was the explanation that I always had in my head, but I could be wrong. And good day, Zork. I hope you're having a good day. Yeah, kinda. I'm really tired, but if there's one old Elder Scrolls game I want to play, it would be Daggerfall. Yeah, there's Daggerfall Unity, which is playable. I want to wait until it's complete, but it's definitely already playable, and I can recommend it from what I've seen. I can't find your video about how big is Tamriel / Akavir / Nirn in comparison to Earth. Yeah, I talked about it in my Population of Tamriel video, Tomato and Broadbound. What's your opinion on Lego Bionicle lore? I actually, I believe as a kid, I was kind of interested in that kind of thing. I don't remember anything about it anymore. How did you get into TES? Would you like to see Morrowind remastered? Yeah. And how did you get into Elder Scrolls? Well, probably how I really got in it was just the fact that I got a PC and I asked my friends like, what should I play, and then somebody recommended the Elder Scrolls games. But I think my first contact with Elder Scrolls was when I saw Morrowind play on a PC of one of my friends, and I tried it. I kind of liked it, but I never had a PC strong enough to play it on. Xin Shilu says, I hate you, American. I'm not American. Is there a Sargon of Akkad or Alexander the Great figure in Elder Scrolls beside Tiber Septim? I mean, Riemann the First. He's basically Tiber Septim 1. My PC is having a bit of a nightmare at the moment. Alright. Do we know what happened to the heroes of Arena, Battlespire, or Daggerfall? No, I don't believe we do. I don't think that we have any concrete lore on that one. If the third Oblivion Crisis starts, Jiggalag is probably one to do it. Could be. I hate the fact that we don't really get any lore on Jiggalag after Oblivion. Like, or I could have missed something, but in Skyrim we don't really hear anything of Oblivion. There's a few timelines in Daggerfall, but I think the canon one, the hero dies. Yeah, that's also something I heard. Then again, I always wanted to play Daggerfall, but the moment I tried it, I always hated the controls. And then I heard about Daggerfall Unity and that people were making that, and ever since then I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna talk too much about Daggerfall so that I can go into Daggerfall blindly whenever that is completed. They're actually pretty close to completion from what I've heard. So I would really want to try that someday, if I can. But it's not really up to completion yet. Anyway, we've almost... does time travel exist in the Elder Scrolls? Yeah. There are some examples of it. Think only of how Alduin could send into the far future. Opinion of Saint Jip. I did a video on him. He's such a fun character. Like, I like how they made a sort of reference to Jip. I know, it's one of those things that I could really appreciate from the Dawnguard DLC. Anyway, we've almost been streaming for 2 hours. Unity is great and playable. Yeah, I know that Unity is great, playable, and amazing. But it's not finished. And it's one of those things where I would like a new Elder Scrolls game, because Daggerfall would be almost like a new Elder Scrolls game to me. For it to work perfectly and to not be something where I'd need to like input codes or something like that, or can't do certain things. So I would like to wait until it's fully completed, and they're getting close from what I've heard, so I'm actually pretty excited for that. The Dragonborn should have become the Emperor if he had some personality. If he had personality, yeah, but Bethesda doesn't like to do things with their heroes that impact the storyline after the player ended their playthrough, because otherwise they would just sort of devaluate the player's experience. Because if my player is a thief, then, well, and they would make them a great hero post, then that would sort of devaluate my experience if they just said that, yeah, he isn't a thief, he was a great hero. Let's see, it's really easy and it's way less bugs than vanilla. Yeah, I heard, like, I heard that Unity is good, but then again, I'd like to wait for completion. I also never really like playing early access games. Think only about Elder Scrolls Blades. It was terrible at first. I mean, it's not a good comparison, but I don't really like early access things. I don't really know what I'm doing. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream because we've almost been streaming for 2 hours. Damn. People that just got here, the stream will be uploaded tomorrow on the channel. So yeah, if you want to look the stream back, go ahead. Anyway, I had a good time. I hope you guys had too. I'm really tired right now, so I'm probably gonna sleep immediately after I uploaded the video. Video will be up 2 or 3 minutes after I quit the stream. Hope you all will have a nice evening. And then I hope that I will also have a nice evening and have a good sleep. See you later.